Alright guys, I'm talking about Amouage Interlude Man today in this Saffron review video. Amouage Interlude Man launched in 2012. Then there was Amouage Interlude Black Iris Man in 2020. And finally by the end of the year, Amouage Interlude 53 was launched. So there's 3 different versions of Amouage Interlude Man. And I'm going to let you know about each of them, how they compare, what do they smell like, which one would be for you. And then you're going to have a chance at winning one of the 3 bottles of choice for a giveaway if you are a subscriber of this channel from the USA, thanks to the USA distributor of Amouage. So if you're curious to learn about these 3 fragrances, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. I'm a fan of the original. I've been a fan. You know, I like this one because it's actually the anti-amber. Even though it's all about amber, it's not necessarily the kind of ambers that I gravitate towards. So if I want something darker, a little more intense, you know, just very dark and dry kind of an amber, not syrupy, molassesy, bright and vanillic and sugary. That's not the kind of amber this is, but it's a great amber because they've combined ambery type smoky resinous notes with aromatic oregano in the notes. So that's what I like about this one, because it's kind of like an opposites attract kind of creation of notes that you wouldn't see combined together. So this has been a popular fragrance for Amouage for a while, but last year, as I said, they launched Interlude Black Iris Man and then Interlude 53. So which version is for you? I'll let you know all about it, and of course if you are a USA subscriber, you can also have a chance at, you know, participating in our giveaway over at Saffron. Of course, if you don't live here and you have someone that can collect your prize, you can definitely participate as well. But before I get to the fragrances, if this is your first time tuning into my channel and you still haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So how many of you are fans of Interlude Man? Now, even though I have purchased Interlude Man in the past, the 3 of the fragrances were sent to me separately. So just letting you know, but I am a fan of this collection, really enjoy them. And as I said, I do enjoy it for the whole opposites thing. You know, the contrast of notes. That's what I like about Interlude Man. And I think the oregano note, which is prominent here and also in 53, is what really does it for me, because you wouldn't really see oregano pop up in fragrances. So Amouage Interlude Man 2012, Interlude Black Iris Man, and 53 came out last year. They're all created by Pierre Negrin. In fact, if you ever have a curiosity to watch my interview video with Pierre Negrin I did for Amouage last year, I do have that on the channel, and it's also on my Instagram feed. But the fragrances are all available at Luckyscent. You can pick them up. The original and then the Black Iris Man are $340 for 100 ml. And then finally the Interlude 53 is $470 for 100 ml. Now what's the difference between the original and the Interlude 53? We're going to focus on these 2 first, and I'll come back to Black Iris Man. So this is 25% perfume oils, this is 53% perfume oils. So in this version, there's more oils than alcohol. So that's according to Amouage, and you can totally tell. Now I've sprayed it on me, I just wanted to show it to you, and I still have oils and shiny sheen on my hand there. So this one actually, you can totally tell the difference in concentration, in performance, in longevity, and all that good stuff. Yes, it is pricier, but I think this is made for the absolute biggest fans of the original Amouage Interlude Man. But then what are the fragrances known for? So as I said, they're amber fragrances, but Interlude Man also features lots of leather with Opoponax, it's a resin, smoky incense, oregano, amber. There is Agarwood smoke featured in this fragrance as well, pimento berries. So the fragrance, you know, sprays on very intense with the initial blast. And here is where you pick up the oregano with this particular original version. And that's what I like about it, you know. I like that contrast because the fragrance, of course, whatever notes are in here that dominates, which is the leather, the Opoponax, and the incense. But at the top, you're picking up this kind of like a contrasting note of oregano, which really does work. It really, really brightens up the fragrance a little bit, not too much, because in the end the fragrance is overly a dark experience, but that oregano, you know, adds this kind of like aromatic brightness to the fragrance and gives it a little more of a unique experience rather than just going into the dark zone, if that makes sense. Yes, this is a dark and smoky, resinous, leathery experience, amber of course, and I really do like what I'm smelling here. Now, what's the difference between the original and the Black Iris Man? And I think Black Iris Man personally is a brighter version of the overall Interlude Man. So if you thought that the original was too dark for you, I think what happens here in this fragrance is a lighter experience. Again, it's not very light, it's just, I think the Orris, for me here, brightens things up in the fragrance and it makes it a little easier to wear. And of course, Orris is powdery, it's iris, so you do experience more of a powdery version of this fragrance. But in the end, it's not like you're totally night and day difference. It's still a dark fragrance, but a much lighter experience with this particular fragrance. You still have the leather in here, you have that Agarwood smoke, frankincense, patchouli, but they have actually eliminated the oregano and have added rosemary in this one. So it's a little bit of a different herbal spiciness, I guess, or different kind of an aromatic experience. And they are different herbs, so you can totally notice it. They might hint at one another, but they do wear it a little differently. But this one also has a little bit of a violet leafy ozonic touch to it, not too much, a little bit. So in the end, yes, it does brighten things up a little bit in comparison to the original fragrance. So that's what the difference is, and if you're looking for a lighter experience but you can tolerate the original a little bit, I suggest you check out the Black Iris Man here. And then finally, as I was saying here, this is the ultra luxury version of this fragrance. This is for the true die-hard fans of the original. I know this has a cult following. It's probably one of the most popular fragrances from Amouage, and if you're a fan of this one, you definitely have to get your nose on Interlude 53. For me, there's not much difference in the smell. A little bit. I think the pepperiness in here is a little more amped up at the top, but the oregano also acts amped up. Everything for me, if you compare the two, what you'll experience is a little more of a three-dimensional experience with this one in comparison to this one. That's what I experienced. I felt like everything was alive on me, whereas this one comes off a little flat. When you do them side-by-side comparison, this one just seemed like it's just like you're living through the smell kind of a thing. Also, the longevity with this one is out of this world. It's just a very, very long-lasting, intense experience. It is extrait de parfum, as I said, 53% perfume oils here, 25 with this one. So that's the difference. You're getting more than double the amount of perfume oils. So a little goes a long way with extrait de parfum. So in the end, you're paying for the concentration of the perfume oil, and you do have a beautiful bottle. As you can see, it's a little more luxury but still very similar to the original bottle. So if I had my pick, you know, I've been a fan of the original, and even though I do like the irisy powdery version, I still think the original is a little better for me, but now that we have this ultra luxury edition, I think this is really, really great. If only you can get your nose on it. If you can, go sample it in a store or get yourself a sample somehow to do the comparison. Some people might not notice the differences, but I definitely pick up the differences between the two. And as I said, for me, this one is acting a little more three-dimensional. Everything seemed like it was alive on me and a little more intense. One other thing I forgot to mention, in this one, I do experience a little more of a slight animalic leather experience. If you thought this was animalic already, you might experience it a lot more. But I don't consider this personally an overly animalic, but here I do get a little bit of a more of an animalic touch in the leather, at least. Maybe the oud, the Agarwood smoke, but I think it's coming from the leather. Either way, those are my thoughts on these 3 different versions of Interlude Man. Interlude Man from 2012, Interlude Black Iris Man from 2020, Interlude 53 from also 2020. We do have that giveaway. If you want to click the link to South Bourbon in the info box, head there and follow their rules on how to participate for your chance to win one of the bottles of your choice. Then come back here and let me know your thoughts on these 3 fragrances. Are you a fan of the original Interlude Man? It's got a huge following. I totally know that it does. But let me know if you've sampled the Black Iris Man and also the 53. And in general, are you a fan of the house of Amouage? What are your favorite fragrances from this house? Put a comment down so that I can find out. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, list below. Otherwise, please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.